Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Trina here with a new video for you. In this video, we'll dive into the demon brothers from the game and anime Obey Me, one master to rule them all. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying, just sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, let's get started. The title of the series may seem odd, but hear me out, because there is a lot more to the Obey Me universe than meets the eye. Filled with a colorful cast of demons, angels, and humans, this series has players and viewers clamoring for more stories to tell. This video is a spoiler-free zone, so you'll have to play the game or watch the anime to find out more about this series. Let us start off where the series first began. Created by NTT Soulmare Corps and first released back in December of 2019, Obey Me, One Master to Rule Them All started out as a visual novel otome mobile game. The premise of the game is that you, the player, are the lucky human exchange student who gets to spend a year in hell. Let me explain. There is a student exchange program between the Celestial Realm, Earth, and the Devil Dom, and the story takes place during the year of the program. The story begins with you meeting the ruler of the Devil Dom, Diavolo. We then are introduced to our 7 main characters, the 7 officers of the Royal Academy of Diavolo, the 7 demon brothers. Throughout the game, you meet each brother one by one, and then the second premise of the story is introduced, pacts. When a human makes a pact with a demon, the demon becomes their servant for the rest of eternity. This is where the title comes from, Obey Me, One Master to Rule Them All. This is your secondary goal besides building relationships in the story. Make a pact with all 7 demon brothers and rule them all. Besides the 7 brothers, there are various other demons, angels, and humans in the Devil Dom your character gets to meet and interact with. The anime takes place after the events of the player's year in the Devil Dom. At first, it seems like each episode exists in a vacuum with no existing continuity between episodes. But as the series goes on, it reveals itself to have a storyline. The stories are usually fun interactions between brothers or character-centric on a singular brother. Unlike usual 22-minute anime episodes, the Obey Me anime are short 5-minute episodes. The first season is solely focused on the Demon Brothers, but the second season, which is currently ongoing at the time of writing, has the side characters seeing more screen time. Speaking of characters, I think it's about time I finally introduce you to our main cast. The 7 student council officers of the Royal Academy of Diavolo, RAD for short, are all brothers. They are also representative of the 7 deadly sins. The player gets to live with these 7 in the House of Lamentation, and there is never a day of peace with these brothers. Let's start with the eldest brother, Lucifer. Lucifer is the avatar of pride and is the default leader of the household. As the avatar of pride, Lucifer cares a lot about the way he presents himself. He always has an air of superiority surrounding him and is always calm and collected. Despite this, he is very quick to anger and doesn't hesitate to punish those who cross him. As seen in Season 2, Episode 2 of the anime, Lucifer's controlling nature is on full display. While some of the demon brothers were on a camping trip, Lucifer kept critiquing each brother's attempts at doing camp activities, from pitching a tent and chopping wood to skipping stones, to the point that he ended up doing everything himself. Although he is very controlling and sadistic, he has a soft spot for his brothers and is very overprotective of them. His brothers perceive it as suffocating, but he genuinely does care for his siblings. Our next demon brother may be the second oldest, but he is by far the most immature. It's the avatar of greed, Mammon. True to his title, Mammon doesn't care about anything other than money. Due to his greedy nature, he appears to be more egotistical and prideful than the literal avatar of pride, but he actually has a soft nature underneath his facade of overconfidence. He is a compulsive liar and often makes up stories to get himself out of trouble or make himself look better than he truly is. Due to his severe gambling addiction and kleptomania, he's gotten himself into a lot of trouble by selling his brother's possessions and collecting a mountain of debt. He's loud, obnoxious, and impulsive, which causes all of his brothers to dislike him. In fact, Episode 8 of Season 1, when Mammon was body swapped with a dog, his brothers actually ended up liking dog Mammon better than the real one. Despite being very self-serving, he is highly empathetic and is usually the first to notice if something is wrong with his brothers or the player. He thrives off of attention as his ego is almost as big as his debt, but he does care deeply about people. In Episode 1 of Season 2, he accomplished his goal of paying off his debts and being rich, but despite all that, he still deeply misses the player to whom he'd grown attached during their internship. He tries to come up with solutions that often do not end well, but his heart is in the right place. Next up is the demon brother who is just a straight-up mood. It's Leviathan. Leviathan, the avatar of envy. Levi's whole character is based around an otaku, as he spends most of his time watching anime, reading manga, cosplaying, playing video games, just consuming any sort of media. He often refers to himself as a shut-in and has a severe form of social withdrawal called hikikomori. He rarely leaves his room and takes online classes rather than in-person schooling due to his high anxiety in social situations. The antisocial part of him causes him to often push people away and put himself down in episodes of jealousy and self-pity. He has an inferiority complex and often complains when things don't go his way. This extends to how he believes others perceive him, automatically assuming that people don't like him either. In a roundabout way, he projects these feelings of inferiority onto others. When the player first meets Leviathan, he refers to them as a normie as a way to push them away and make them feel like they don't belong with him. Levi often keeps it to himself and doesn't cause much trouble, and finds himself the happiest sharing his hobbies with others. Episode 2 of Season 1 and Episode 2 of Season 2 really show how dedicated Levi is to his hobbies. He brings his family together with video games or movie nights, and loves to talk about his favorite series with them, even if they don't understand it. Before we get into the rest of the Demon Brothers, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, NordVPN. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Staying safe online is an ever-growing difficulty, and hackers could exploit you. NordVPN allows you to change your IP address, making you harder to track, securing your privacy. In addition to providing you with safe passage through the web, you can also expand the reach of your favorite streaming services. Are you tired of going through 2, 3, or even 4 streaming services to watch your favorite anime? Well, with NordVPN, you can change your country and be able to binge shows like My Hero Academia, Naruto, and many others on your favorite streaming service with just the press of a button. Check out the link in the description to get 72% off when buying for 2 years /$3.29 a month. This deal is for a limited time. And thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Satan is a name often associated with the sole ruler of hell itself in biblical writing. In the Obey Me universe, Satan is the avatar of wrath. When we first meet Satan, he is very calm and composed, uncharacteristic for a character representative of pure anger. He is sensible, quick-witted, and the voice of reason whenever there's a quarrel in the family. Even more surprising is that he has an uncanny ability to remain calm in situations where a normal person would be angry. He often avoids arguments as well. The caveat to this is that his rage peers its ugly head over pretty inconveniences, such as losing a game of chess. He is unconsolable and compulsive whenever he is enraged, and all the Demon Brothers know to take cover whenever he gets angry. One such instance was in episode 10 of season 1 when it said that Satan forced his brothers to keep playing a card game until he won, showing how fearful they are of angering the Avatar of Wrath. Satan is an academic type who loves to read and study, even if the book he's reading has life-threatening spells in them. He especially loves detective dramas and often analyzes things to the level of professional detective. In episode 6 of season 1, we see how he uses his love for reading as a way for him to play detective when some items go missing in the House of Lamentation. There is more to Satan than what meets the eye, as the circumstances of his birth were unique compared to his siblings, but you'll have to watch our next video on the lore of Obey Me to find out how. The 5th brother on our list is the Jewel of the Heavens, Asmodeus, the Avatar of Lust. Asmo is flirtatious and charming, and also very vain and narcissistic. He takes pride in his appearance and believes that his very existence is a gift to the world. His hobbies revolve around self-care and social media. His narcissism often gets out of hand, as seen in episode 5 of season 1, where he kept making his siblings redo a game to make the attention fall on him. He's mostly a neutral party when it comes to the chaotic nature of his other siblings, and sometimes gets annoyed with their antics. He does get into trouble like his brothers, however, as he and his brothers once had to face the vengeful wrath of one of his ex-partners. Asmo only really cares about himself at the end of the day, but he does care about others to a certain extent. In fact, the reason that all the brothers have painted nails is that he's the one who painted them for them. Fun fact, Asmodeus' voice actor, Aime Miura, sang the official opening song of Obey Me, Sinful Indulgence. By the way, if you haven't yet listened to Sinful Indulgence, you are missing out on a major earworm. Let's get back to the story. Now we're on to our final demon brother, Beezlebub. Wait, what do you mean we only covered 6 brothers? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, Beezlebub. He's the avatar of gluttony and essentially has a bottomless pit for a stomach. Every time he's on screen, he is either eating something or talking about food. Sometimes he even eats things that shouldn't be eaten. When we first meet Beale, he is tempted to eat the player, but eventually moves past his craving for human flesh. Although he eats a seemingly endless amount of food, he's the most in-shape brother out of his siblings. This is because he spends a lot of his free time exercising whenever he isn't eating, whether it be sports, weightlifting, or cardio. He does it all. Beale is also very emotionally mature and caring for his brothers despite his unexpressive nature. It's also revealed that he actually loves his family more than food. In the latter half of season 1, we see how dedicated Beale is to making his younger brother. What younger brother? Beezlebub is the 6th and final sibling. In the latter half of Season 1, Beale does anything he can to make one of his brothers happy after he feels things have changed after the player left the Devil Dom. He even puts himself through physical pain for a chance to make his brothers happy. And that's it for all 7 brothers from the Obey Me, One Master Rule Them All series. Lucifer, Mammon, Leviathan, Satan, Asmodeus, and Beezlebub. Yes, all 7 of them. Okay, fine. There's actually a 7th brother, but from this point on there will be spoilers for the Obey Me mobile game, so continue at your own discretion. Skip to the timestamp on screen if you want to avoid spoilers about the 7th brother. With that out of the way, let us continue. The 7 deadly sins are pride, greed, envy, wrath, lust, gluttony, and sloth. And our final brother is the avatar that represents sloth, Belfie. For a good chunk of the game, Belfie is pointedly absent from the rest of the brothers, and his existence is forbidden to be spoken about for reasons unknown. As the player spends more time in the House of Lamentation, they discover the attic in which the avatar of sloth was locked away. To learn about the story behind Belfie's imprisonment, watch out for a future video. Belfie is a twin brother of Beezlebub, but isn't as active as him. True to his sin, he is often referred to as the cat-napping 7th-born. He's almost always found sleeping and even falls asleep in unconventional situations, such as when he passed out in his bowl of soup in the anime. He always carries his signature cow patterned pillow. Although he is often sluggish, introverted, and mellow, he also has a quick temper and is rebellious against authority. He is naturally manipulative, which helps him escape from the House of Lamentation's attic with the help of the player. This may be a hint to his yandere nature, as he portrays himself as aloof, but in reality, he is highly intelligent in his ability to manipulate others. In the anime, his tired side is demonstrated more often until the latter half of Season 1, where he finally acknowledges how things are different between them. That is it for today's video. If you're unsure about watching the Obey Me anime, keep in mind that it is a 12-episode anime with 5-minute episodes. You can even watch the first 3 episodes for free on the Obey Me official YouTube channel. You do not need to know the lore of the game to watch the anime, but it does help for contextualization purposes. Keep an eye out for our next video on this series, where we deep dive into the lore of this series. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, there are a few more things that I like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials has got you covered. Our We the Celestials, My Hero Academia, and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then I'd like to extend you an invitation to join the team. The only caveat being that we only accept members from 16 years and up to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. And if you want more content from me, check me out at Trina on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. Well, that's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching and have a great day.